Welcome to our today's class session. My name is Maratib Ali Shad, and we are going to continue our today's class. Our today class is about our online course, which we started on evolution and different levels of consciousness. Um, and we are in week number 3. Uh, Week number 1, we discussed about generally um, what is evolution, what is its relevance with the consciousness, and how the consciousness is relevant with our private and collective life as a global citizen or as a global inhabitant. It was a general introduction, and then after that we did discuss what is the relationship between what we have and what we are doing in terms of action, and how after having and doing action we becomes being. So that's a very key idea, which basically leverage our level of consciousness. So we did discuss in week 1. So that's we did. So and then week 2, which was the last week, we we learned that how we are surviving on this planet. Basically, our all uh, efforts and our bread and butter, our energies, our thoughts, our actions are to survive myself on this planet Earth, in my country, in my city, in my village. Okay. And we did learn last week that why we are in survival mode as a human being. And when we have a lowest conscious level, then what happens to us? And this survival mode make us on a very low level of consciousness. And when we have a low level score of 200 and below, we are in fear, we feel that we are in grief, we are in depression, we have a guilt, we feel shame on our life or some of the incident. So that we discussed last week. And before I go to my this week, I want to tell you, I'm going to show you with my Apple Pencil. And on the right hand side, you can see, okay, yeah. So you can see here. So this is a map of consciousness. If everybody can see, let me see who is. Hi Ella, hi Yasir, welcome to my class. So if you see on the right hand side of your screen, map of consciousness. So I want to show you from the bottom. So our okay. So our lowest consciousness start from energy level 20, and it starts from shame. Okay. So the lowest conscious level of a human being is we feel shame on ourselves, and that shame convert into a guilt of any past event or something you have, and then it make us sometimes insensitive to form apathy, and that when we grow further it turn into a grief, it make us sad often, and that turn into some phobia or fear. Okay. And if you see on our energy level of conscious is increasing, however, it's still very low. Okay. It's still on very low. I think the image is gone. I'm sorry. Um, Let me again reconnect with you. Are you able to see my screen or no? Somebody can tell me.
I cannot see anything. It's black right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for responding. I think my screen, I'm just trying to reconnect it. Maybe it's just a problem. Basically, I have connected my iPad with my Zoom. That's why probably it's little misleading. Um, it's connecting. Let's see. So uh, in the meanwhile, it is process of connecting. I will continue to speak, and you can listen in the meanwhile. So what happened when we are on the lowest conscious level? Then our energy is does increase on a higher from the bottom to top conscious level, but still it's very on a lowest level. And that is a lowest level which mostly bacteria, microorganism, animals, some birds, some other species, they are on a low level of consciousness. Okay. And their energy level of conscious is below 200. Um, and that 200 unit is out of highest is 1000 and the lowest is like we started from 20. So ideally, the human being needs to go towards 600 to above on a higher conscious level. Then we can become a happier person, truly happier person. Below 200, Dr. David Hawkins, who's the author of that map of consciousness, he says that we basically, if we lie below 200, then there is no difference between human being and a tiger and a reptile and a snake or a crocodile. There will be no difference between a haunting any wild bird. So below 200 level of consciousness, we all are equal. So we human being below 200 conscious level, we basically do crime. And these crimes are like baddest as bad a wild species like reptiles or uh, like a viruses as well, which forms which spread enormously lot of diseases as well. I'm talking about on a microorganism level. Okay, so still not connecting. Let me double check. Um, okay, it's gone. Okay, okay, yeah. Um, okay, let me start it. Mm, okay, it's still connecting for some reason. I'm very sorry. It usually does not happen, but let's continue our audio conversation anyway. Uh, So, so that's we did study last week, including last week, Sunday, we also learned what is the conscious level in mammals, birds, and some of microorganisms. The bottom line was we concluded the more reactivity any species have, the more low conscious level they will have. So I will repeat again. The more low conscious level any species have, more vulnerable or more dangerous or more reactivity of that species will be uh, upon other people or other human being or other species. So that is a quite dangerous level below 200. Today, what we are going to discuss is, let me see, okay. Yeah, that's on my screen, and I believe you still cannot see it for some reason. Um, okay, let me disconnect the Wi-Fi and probably do. Okay, you can hear me, right? Um, okay. Ella and Varsha, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we still can't
Okay.
see the screen.
Uh, okay, thank you. Okay, let me double check. Or otherwise, I will disconnect my iPad and then we'll connect on my Mac. Let me last try and then we can. Let me disconnect my iPad. Then, so now I'm on my computer screen and let me open the slide for you. It won't take, it will take few seconds. Okay, yeah, ready to go here. Okay. Let me- Okay, and let me also share map of consciousness so that we can quickly go to our uh, key learning for today. Map of consciousness. That's a map of consciousness. And, let me extend it. Okay. Apologize for all inconvenience. So I believe you should be able to see the screen now.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So, thank you. So let's start our today's content for the week 3, human evolution, and what does it mean by human evolution? Means that the human being which we are in a current state, we our technical name is Homo sapiens in a scientific language. And when this Homo sapiens was evolved from their ancestors 75,000 years ago, according to latest that, like myself, I'm a Homo sapiens. I have 2 hands. I have a body, face, like so. That type of human being, which we all are at the moment on planet Earth, it was started 75,000 years before. And before 75,000 years, we were in different forms of humanity. And they have a different names in form of apes, in form of a Neanderthal, in form of other human being. And the first human was 3 million years ago. Uh, I think 3 million, yeah. 3 million years before, first human, very basic human, was evolved from other species, okay, according to evolution theory, which is very acceptable in intellectual and scientific um, uh, uh, realms and communities as well. And what happened? The first human is called Lucy, which is 3 million years ago, and then they converted into Neanderthal, then Cro-Magnon, then Homo erectus, and then Dr. David Hawkins, which book I'm referring here, is saying their human conscious level was 80 to 85, okay, 3 million years ago. And 80 to 85 years, if you see my cursor, is here. So this is the 20 evolution, 20 score, 20 energy level, conscious level, and it's increasing until it reaches 700 to 1000, okay, where a person or any species become enlightened, okay. But we are talking about here, uh, here 80 to 85, it comes like here. So the first human was in grief, he or they have a regret, okay. 3 million years ago I'm talking about, their conscious level is, okay. And then in Africa, um, Dr. David Hawkins says Homo sapiens transformed, and our conscious level, which we are, and our origin is from Africa, and our conscious level was still 80 to 85. 80 to 85, it means we are in grief, tragedy, and disdainful. We had a regret or something, okay, still. Um, and that is our starting point from Africa, okay? And let's start our reading for today, and then we will go. So um, I would ask Varsha if you can read this for us, please. You can unmute your mic and read it for us.
this whole PPT.
Yeah, the whole paragraph, which is on your screen. Human
Okay.
evolution.
Okay. So, primitive humanity appeared as sprouts of the evolutionary tree, starting presumably with Lucy 3 million years ago, and then much later as Nean- Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, Homo erectus, and others, all of whom calibrated at approximately 80 to 85. Each new genus of hominids doesn't dissolve into the other. Instead, a new branch constantly arises as its own expression. Most recently, perhaps hundreds of thousands of years ago, there appeared in Africa the probable predecessor of modern humanity, Homo sapiens idaltu, with consciousness level also at 80 to 85. We are not able to hear you.
Yeah, so that's the thing which we mentioned, I mentioned earlier. So that's how human evolution was evolved from the ancestor in the conscious level. Our conscious level was very low from 80 to 85. That's we discussed. Let's go further. And what happened below conscious level of 200, which lies from here, if you see the cursor, where our courage started. Below, if we go from top to down, pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame. Okay, that our conscious level below 200 taught us the survival need. Okay, and these survival need we still doing as a human survival species on planet Earth in 2023 still, unfortunately. Okay, and when we started to live with below 200 conscious level, then our prefrontal cortex, which is my forehead here, if you see here, that formed, and we started to survive with new techniques, because we used to have teeth, we used to develop our hands as well. So, and we used to have some sort of mental evolution as well. So we were quite a little different from other species, and that made us a unique species as compared to other people, as compared to other species. That's why we were surviving there. So let's learn this thing, and we will learn more things. So I would ask Javeria, if you can read it, please.
Yes. Thus, below consciousness level 200, the prefrontal cortex remain under the domination of animal instinct, or what the word is,
Instincts.
instinct, and all the animal survival tactics become more sophisticated. Humans do not attack with teeth, but with words and other weapons. Warfare, there and re, and re, rivalry, 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 rivalry go on the usual, and the front page of any newspaper report the same event as what can be observed on Monkey Island at any zoo. This monkey tribe is making that tribe bad, and another tribe good. This one is trying to get dominance and over that one. The male are so sorry 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 sorry. Oh, what the word is this?
Uh, surreptitious. Krishna. Yeah,
Surreptitiously trying to grab all the females in the background. Everybody is trying to make their piles for piles of manners higher than their rival, and uh, will sling it at any one that see as threatening. Sound familiar? For the monkey tribe.
yeah, yes, thank you. It's a great reading. We basically human do not attack with teeth, but with words and other weapon that we mentioned. And that's why we basically human classified the other species and ourselves into good or bad, and that good and bad or less good or more bad, that make us lower or higher uh, communities in our mind. This is all our mental construction, and that make a lot of communities. That's why we on a planet Earth have thousands of different communities based on different features. That is the reason we have a different consciousness in different part of the world. So let's continue the reading again, and I would ask Varsha if we can continue to read.
Yeah, sure. As consciousness evolves within the human, crossing over consciousness level 200, the animal drives begin to conflict with the energy of spiritual power, truth, and love. The ego's deception is clever in that it deludes its victim into believing that the perpetrator is out there, whereas actually it is innate to biological survival process and therefore in here. Understanding Cal 400, the ego, and adopting it as a pet allows its eventual dissolution. It can be viewed as a cute little pet that needs supervision lest it hurt others or oneself. Eventually, as one becomes aware of its proclivities, one can override them. Rarely do people escape the rationality of the 400s by evolving to the non-linear domains, starting at love. Carl 500. In the 500s, consciousness is transformed.
Excellent. It's a great reading. So if you see on the right hand side there the map of consciousness, um, so here our consciousness is now raising. So above 200 when it is raising, okay, and that is we are becoming a truly higher human beings, okay, and we are going to accept the realities. We are going to reason based on different interpretations, and we becoming the packet of love. We love people other, we love ourselves, we love surroundings, and that make us living a joyful living, okay, on 540. And that now paragraph is so important. Let me highlight it. And what is means that before, in the early ages, we used to think that uh, our um, everything which make us change is out there, is outside of ourselves. So we used to believe outer world. Okay, we never learn what we are or what is inside of me. So they think that our survival is depend on other, what other species, trees, reptile, animal, or other human beings. But later we know that now it is here. Our survival process happens within me, within my mind. I define what makes us survive and what makes us happy, what makes us sad. And if I work on myself, on my ego, diminishing my ego or controlling or suppressing my ego, that will make me higher or lower um, mammals or human beings. And that's our transformation of consciousness was going on. Okay, let me read the next page for you. One is less concerned with the objective world and lives instead from the subjective state of awareness, having realized that the experience of life derives from within an inner domain of grace that is not measurable yet profoundly discernible. The persistence of primitive ego in human is referred to as narcissist core of egotism, which at calibration level below 200 indicates that the persistence of self-interest, disregard for the rights of others, and seeing others as enemies and competitors rather than as allies. Now, this is very important thing. I will explain you. For safety's sake, human coalesced into groups and discovered the benefit of mutuality um, and cooperation, which again was a corollary to the animal world of group, pack, and family formation in mammalian and bird kingdom. Now, this is a brilliant explanation we are going to understand. So, this important paragraph, he's saying when we are in under below 200 here. So, if you see on the right hand screen, my cursor, below 200, when my consciousness level is calibrating here, okay, then what happens? My ego sees the other human being, other creature, other things as enemies. Because here my mind has divided myself into different labels. The label of such as me as a gender, I'm a man or woman, I'm a, let's say, a Christian or atheist, or Hindu or Muslim, something. Here our mind divided us. I belongs to that city. I speak that language. Further, it divides into a continent on a higher level. So that's why we are on a very different uh, level of species at this stage. And he's saying that below 200, that's why we are totally forming a different families, like a pack of wolves, pack of dogs, uh, giraffe community, mammalian community, and there are thousands of kinds of birds community. So that start to form below 200. When we live below 200, always remember below 200, we are pride, we have pride, we have anger, we have this desire, we have fear. That needs to remember. And still today, it very relevant. Okay, let's go to the next second last paragraph. So I would ask Javeria if you can read this.
Yes. The calibrated consciousness level of human evolved slowly. At the time of the birth of Buddha, the collective consciousness calibrated at 90. It then rose to 100 by the time of the birth of Jesus Christ, and slowly evolved over the last two millennia. To 190, where it stayed for many centuries until the late 1980s. Then at about the time of her harmonic convergence, convergence. In the late 80s, it suddenly jumped from 190 to 204 to 205. And this crossover seems to signify the opening up to a new era of human evolution. That is the emergence of Homo spirituus, yeah. One reality and subjectivity.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. It's a great reading. So it's important to know about at the time of Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, the collective consciousness of the whole world specifically is saying the conscious level was 90, and 90 is here. If you see, like near fear and grief. So overall, we were on that time and in a fear mode, and then it rose, it increased by 200 by near the Jesus Christ, like 2000 years ago almost. And then from Jesus Christ, it is increasing, okay? And that's very good news. Until now, the conscious level is increasing, okay? Now I will mention here a lot of different spiritual paths and communities being contribute in the whole mankind to increase that level of consciousness. So that is a good news, and we are on a development. And it's the last page for the today. Is I would ask Vasya, you can read it, please.
Yes. So approximately 85% of the world's population is still below 200 and therefore dominated by animal instincts, motivations, and behaviors as reflected in the nightly news. These levels below 200 indicate reliance on force, whether emotional, physical, social, or forced by whatever expression. Levels over 200, which progress logarithmically, indicate levels of power.
Excellent. That's a great reading. So it's a very great figure we just mentioned here, that 80% of the world population is still under 200 energy level. And that is a sign of alarm. That is sign of alarm. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So if you see here under 200, so majority here, every part of the world, we are here, okay? But the good news is that rest of the 15% are above 200 conscious level. And it means 15% population of the world planet are more or less have courageous and very motives, positive motives of their life. They are neutral. They have a big positive willingness to accept the realities, to acceptance what they are, and they know about whatever the category they have or he or she has, they accept it. And they give the reason with the open mind, because the reason is the function of the mind, and that open reason proceed to become a loving or beloved person. And that beloved and turn into your joyful life. So people who are living a joyful life in this world, they are around 15% people, which is pretty much good, and that have a positive impact on the rest of the world. But remember, 85% people are living very miserable life, very fearful life, very depressive life. They are shameful, and that is a sign of alarm. So it has a good news and bad news both for us. Now, if you want to learn quickly about the differences between below 200 and above 200 conscious level based on the map of consciousness, then we can just read this. and then I can ask someone to read it. Um, so Hussein, hi Hussein, you can hear us? Are you able to read this paragraph? If you can unmute your mic. Okay, okay, he's
Yes.
gone.
Can I
So,
read?
yeah, Versa, you can read it. Excellent.
Okay. So, of major significance is that the brain's physiology changes dramatically at consciousness level 200, which is the level where the quality of life changes, not only in humankind but also in the animal kingdom, from predatory to benign. This is expressed by the emergence of concern for the welfare, survival, and happiness of others rather than just for the person's self. The benefits of this evolution, caringness, and spiritual growth are clearly shown in the following chart. Above level of consciousness 200, an etheric brain emerges. It is not protoplasmic or anatomical, but rather energetic. The etheric brain not only allows more effective processing of stimuli, but also registers higher energy frequencies to which protoplasm is too. This is similar to the physical world where delicate instruments are required to discern energy fields beyond the capacity of the senses. The ear cannot hear radio waves themselves. The etheric energy brain is capable of non-verbal, non-linear knowingness. Right-handed people become right brain dominant and left-handed people become left brain dominant. These non-dominant brain hemispheres are stimulated by art, music, altruism, and aesthetics.
Excellent. It's a good reading. Well done. So, the bottom line of what Varsha had just read for us kindly is the quality of life has improved much more. For many people, for many gurus, for many even ordinary life-driven people who have the conscious level above 200, okay, and they are not only surviving well, but they living the life for others as well, okay, and they also have a positive sacrifice, um, and that they are doing for much more for other, but it wasn't before. Always remember that was not before what the conscious level is evolving in today's world. Even though it's look like that we are, oh, it's a very bad world, it's a life is a worse, we mourning a lot, we criticize life a lot, we criticize our countries, our nations, and it seems like it's a life is like a hell, but it's not at all. The our conscious level, when we are feeling more neutrality, and we have a joyful life, truly joyful life, when we have immense love for not only myself, for my family, but for millions of other people, okay, and when I make a policy as a leader of the country or as a leader of the world or the leaders of the world, when we sit together, when we uh, connects the dot of the positive efforts from all countries, from all nations, how we can save our planet, how we can tackle this issue of, let's say, pollution, uh, global issue of terrorism, global issue of changing the weather, global issue of economy, crisis, all blah. So these are all indicates that we are caring each other, not only caring ourselves, we are living our thoughts, our books, our intellectual and spiritual um, contribution is for overall. But that was not before when uh, we used to living in an early age of um, our humanhood. Um, I'm talking about 10,000 years ago. I'm talking about 50,000 years ago, where we were very reactive, where we are on a very low conscious level, where there was no difference between our as a human and there was a predator, or there was a reptile or beast type of species, we all were equal. And that is a great and positive development we are. But yet, a huge things needs to go. But that is a map of consciousness. Now, the last thing before I close my session, if you see here, our conscious level, when we reach at 540, then we start to feel very completeness in life. We think that we all are one, okay? And it fueled us the passion of being in serenity, okay? And it leads to make us living in a very peaceful life, okay? That peaceful life, it could be any part of the world, okay? It is very independent of any religion, but it is depend on the spiritual path which you are following. Mostly spiritual tradition in the world, all more or less follow the same map of consciousness. And more importantly, the highest score of consciousness goes to 700 to 1000, where any person becomes savior of the planet, conquer the planet. Not only planet, conquer the whole universe. And not only the whole universe, but the victory over the self. And that is the ultimate purpose of any person on this planet, that his or her consciousness should be make him or her enlightened. And that is still going on. A lot of people have an enlightened being in this planet. They are being all over the world in different countries and different spiritual tradition. Maybe they are connected with some sort of religion as well, but on a deep down, they are enlightened. In a historically, Krishna was one of the enlightened being. Then Buddha, Siddhartha Gautam Buddha, he was enlightened being. Then Jesus Christ was an enlightened being. Then Prophet Muhammad was an enlightened being. Then a lot of great people came, and they were very spiritually sounded. Till today, they are enlightened being. So we, as an ordinary human being, we can also leverage our sense of self, by minimizing or destroying our ego, and turn into the higher conscious being. And that is our goal, main purpose of human being as on this planet at this time, or it should be. So I'm basically giving you some sort of idea of the purpose of the life, okay?
Are you speaking? I can listen.
Hi, Javeria.
Yeah, hi Varsha, how are you?
I am good. How is you?
Yeah, good.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan. And you?
Okay. I'm from India.
Great. Okay, good to know. Sir will shortly join us.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe there is an issue with his network.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome back, sir.
Sorry, got disconnected immediately. I'm very sorry. I don't know.
Your voice issue. We can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Um, now you can hear me.
Yes, sir,
No,
yeah.
we can't hear.
You can hear me.
I can, but maybe Javeria is not able to hear you.
Okay. Let me see again. Javeria, you check your speaker as well. Maybe you can check your speaker, Javeria. Yeah, my microphone is working. Yeah. Javeria, you can hear me? Okay, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, that I was explaining briefly about how why we need to raise our conscious level, and we should have a roadmap to raise our conscious level, and it's very simple. Okay, we don't need the details or big. I mean, any rocket science. Um, I will cover this concept in my one of the coming lectures, that how we can become on a path of enlightened. Okay, so uh, I will discuss it with. So until now, if somebody has any question or want to comment, tell me. So okay. So next week, we will be studying about the 7 areas or 7 discoveries of life to increase the understanding in terms of the consciousness. Is a very mind-blowing topic, and it will help to understand the conscious level. A lot of psychology, philosophy, spirituality, sociology, developmental psychology will come in coming weeks, especially the next week. So, any question or any comment before I close the class for today?
No, I
Okay.
don't have any questions, but I just wanted to thank you for the session. It was great and very insightful.
Thank you very much, Varsha. I'm looking forward to see you next Sunday. Yeah, that's my goal. Only 45 minutes or 60 minutes in a week can transform anybody's life, because the content which I teach or I share with you is a very mind-blowing, life-changing, uh, and very higher teaching capacity it has. So thank you very much for joining today, and I will see all of you again next Sunday, same time, with the next episode of the in the subject of evolution of the consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. Have a
Thank you.
nice
Bye bye. Bye, Javeria.
goodbye. Thank you.